How else do you explain U.S. interventionism throughout the world? What are the alternative explanations? That the United States has gone in to defend democracy? Well, that can't be, because we supported dictatorships in most of these countries. We supported a fascist Somoza in Nicaragua, a fascist Batista in Cuba. Again and again, country after country, we didn't support democracy, we support fascists. And in fact, we've overthrown democracies. We overthrew democracy in Guatemala when Arbenz came into power. We overthrew democracy in Brazil when Goulart came into power. We overthrew democracy in Chile when Allende came into power. We overthrew maybe not democracy, but a populist government leader, Mossadegh in Iran and Sukarno in Indonesia, who had popular democratic support. In each case, in each one of those countries, different leaders, different countries, different histories, different languages, different cultures, but they all had one thing in common. They were beginning to use the political system to tamper with and change the economic and class structure. What Allende was doing in Chile, very democratically, was redistributing some of the gross national income from those who made money from dividends and interest and commissions and rents to those who made money from wages and salaries. Unemployment went down in Chile. Inflation was going down. The rate of inflation was going down. Buying power was increasing for the ordinary people. Popular consumption was increasing. The level of living was bettering in a modest way for the people. Every child in Chile was getting half a liter of milk under the Allende regime. And when the fascist Pinochet came in, that was one of the first programs he abolished. And in Guatemala, in Arbenz, when he came into office, he legalized all opposition parties. He legalized all opposition all trade unions, all opposition newspapers, all student organizations, which were very political in Guatemala at the time. And then he began to expropriate the unused land from the United Fruit Company. And that's when the CIA went in with a mercenary army, trained by and equipped and financed by the CIA, and overthrew him. It wasn't that he threatened democracy, it's that he was using democracy, he was using political democracy to effectuate an economic democracy. And that economic democracy is the thing that privileged classes have hated all their lives. If you go back to ancient Greece, if you look at our founding fathers and the debates at the Constitutional Convention, they talk about the leveling impulse, the common people wanting a bigger share of what we have. And they don't want to give up what they have. They don't want to give it up. They'll fight and kill to keep it. No more than you want to give up your little car or your house or whatever little you got. You don't want to give it up. Imagine if you didn't just own a little car. Imagine if you owned the world. Imagine if you owned everything there was to own. Imagine if you lived like a king. Imagine if you lived in a way that the whole society was there for your service, in a sense. To give that up is the worst tyranny of life. And much of what is called freedom has that class anchorage in it.